Hi class, so in this unit we're going to be talking about instruction sets and usability. And I want to just do a real quick video that gives you some of the highlights of what this is all about. So instruction sets are pretty common in the workplace and really in almost everything that we do. Documentation is necessary for a lot of different technologies because new users are encountering new situations and they need to understand how to interact with different technologies in order to accomplish their goals. So you can look at a lot of different types of instructions, everything from recipes to IKEA furniture instructions to documentation for complex software to a range of other things. But we encounter instruction sets consistently throughout a lot of different areas. But there are certain things that generally make certain instruction sets effective. So I just want to give you a few of the quick examples from this particular instruction set. But we can also talk a little bit more generally after that. So one of the things that is really effective in instruction sets is making sure that you are clearly dividing up the instruction set so that each different major type of thing that someone might have to do they can find easily. And you can see that here where they break it up into getting started, record and play, connect to the computer, view on television, these different tasks that someone might want to do. Then in the actual instructions, you'll see that they're also subdividing it down to different tasks again where necessary. So all of this type of headings that we've talked about in terms of document design can really help people find the information they need. Once you actually get to the specific steps, you'll see that each step is numbered and that begins with an imperative verb. So instead of saying something like you do this or I did this, just saying slide. So instead of like I slid or you should slide, cut out all of that, really focus on the imperative verb and keep that consistent across every single step. So you'll see slide, slide, insert slide, press, slide, connect, power. All of these start with a imperative verb like that. And that's really important because it can help people follow the steps much more easily. Also, instruction sets use a lot of images and often will annotate the images. Doing that can really help people follow along. So you can see that these different numbers are following the different steps up here, and so it's helping people say, okay, slide the battery latch to unlock. Well, I don't know where the battery latch is, but it shows you right here, and having those types of images, especially those annotated images, can really help make this information clearer. Instructions typically include a lot of images, sometimes as much as one for every single step you'll find in different places. Instruction sets should usually include a list of materials early on and tools. So materials tend to be the things that you're going to be using up in the process, and tools tend to be the different tools that are still going to exist, like a hammer. If you're trying to build something, you might use the hammer, but it's not going to get used up in the project like a nail might. And you usually want to include those up near the top so that everyone, when they're going through that process, can actually make sure that they have everything that they need right at the outset. And those are the main things I wanted to focus on with this one. The other thing to think about with instruction sets is that you often don't know whether or not it's working well until you've actually tested it. So that's what our second half of our focus is this week, is on usability and usability testing. So usability testing you're going to often see in things like websites and other types of media, but its fundamental concept is that when you want to understand how someone's going to interact with a document, you put it in front of a real person and then you watch them use it. So we have a lot of readings that really help you with that, and this has been used consistently in instruction sets for a long time now, and to test instruction sets and understand how they work. So it's important to think about how you would be able to test those documents when you are creating them, and then to go out and try it once in a while and get some feedback from real people who would be using it. And I'll post a quick little video as well that I've found online of someone doing a usability test on an actual an actual prototype, and it can give you an idea of the different types of things you might notice during a usability test. So that's just a quick overview. There's a lot more information in your textbook, and the key with almost anything is to remember that there might be some general features that we talk about, things like dividing up the instructions, numbering them, using imperative verbs, but at the same time you're going to need to alter some of those rules if they don't fit the expectations of your reader for that specific situation. So it's always about the specific situation more than the general rules. So that's about all. Tell me if you have any questions.